I think that he needs to have his Floyd Mayweather moment. And both the champions are going to know what I'm talking about. That moment that he had with Diego Corrales, where he went and took him apart. And Floyd, some people were saying the same thing a little bit, not as much, but a little bit about Floyd. He's a defensive fighter, he doesn't take chances, you can't hit him, all those kind of things. And then he goes in there with Diego Corrales, who good puncher, good fighter, champion, tremendous. And he takes him apart.
With January 31st, 2026 fast approaching, anticipation inside Madison Square Garden is steadily intensifying. When top-level fighters square off, the debate usually centers on strength versus quickness. But the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez brings a very different kind of intrigue. This is not simply a contest of skills, it is a clash of styles and identities. One side represents calculated precision, often compared to a chess master inside the ring, while the other embodies explosive ability, what famed trainer Teddy Atlas has described as rare, electric talent. Betting markets may be leaning toward caution, but seasoned analysts expect unpredictability. The big question remains, can Stevenson's defensive brilliance withstand everything thrown his way, or does Lopez have that rare, instinctive edge capable of breaking even the most flawless strategy?
Teofimo has those it factors, those special qualities, those explosive skills, those neon talents that I often talk about, that you either have them or you don't have them. Where, whether you want to call it the quick twitch, muscles, fibers, whatever you want to call it, but he has those kind of explosive abilities. And that makes him a guy that, if he's on that particular night, it puts him at a different level.
Teddy Atlas has spent decades around the sport and very little surprises him anymore. Yet when he analyzes Teofimo Lopez, he points to something numbers and punch stats can never explain. Atlas refers to it as neon talent, sudden, electric moments of brilliance that cannot be coached or manufactured. In his view, fighters either possess that special instinct or they do not. By comparison, Shakur Stevenson represents stability, discipline, and refined technique at the highest level. Lopez, however, is the unpredictable variable. Atlas believes that this very unpredictability is what makes Teofimo so dangerous. At times, he may appear uneven against lesser opponents, but when the stage is biggest and the pressure is highest, those neon flashes emerge. In those moments, Lopez is capable of actions that seem to ignore logic and expectation. That is the true threat facing Shakur. This is not a routine matchup. He is stepping in with a fighter who is most alive when disorder takes over.
Would Teofimo knock out Shakur? No. Can Teo adjust to the point where he beats Shakur? Yeah. You don't see how? Shakur hates slick and economic boxers. So does Teo. They both hate where each other are. Shakur looks great against volume punchers. De Los Santos sitting back and not being active, Shakur doesn't look good. That's when they say he's boring. The thing is, Teofimo Lopez is an excellent fighter. He beat Josh Taylor and Lomachenko. How did he beat Lomachenko? By being patient. Y'all sleeping on Teo. And it's at 140. Now the thing what's wrong with Teo is, Teo also looks good as a counter puncher when you are a volume puncher too. Another thing is, Teo looks very great when he's dialed in. He fights more athletic than Shakur. Shakur fights far more technically sound, and he's a more gifted fighter skill-wise. I'm leaning towards Shakur, but Teo.
While Teddy Atlas highlights the unpredictable X factor, Hall of Fame trainer Abel Sanchez has offered a forecast that has left many in the boxing community puzzled. He does not anticipate a knockout, nor does he envision one fighter clearly separating from the other. Instead, Sanchez believes the matchup is so evenly balanced that it could end without a definitive victor. In his view, a draw is not just possible, but a very real outcome.
Shakur's a great talent, and Teofimo looked great in his last fight. Of course, he didn't have Shakur in front of him, but I think that for Shakur, he has to keep the fight at his distance. If he does that, I think it's a win for him. Teofimo, he's more, he wants to draw you in, he wants to counterpunch. He's going to have to be a different guy this time. He's going to have to attack. He's going to have to be leading the fight, or else it's going to be a boring fight. I don't think it'll be a boring fight, but if he sits back and waits for Shakur's going to wait for him, then it's not going to be exciting. But I think Teofimo will attack. I think Teofimo has to attack. I think Teofimo has to do what Zepeda did, except for Teofimo's a lot more talented than Zepeda was. So I think that I honestly, I see a draw. I don't know why I see a draw, but I just see them both having great rounds and giving us the kind of fight that I think the public is looking for.
Sanchez's reasoning is cold and precise. For Teofimo to claim victory, he must push forward, apply pressure, and accept danger. For Shakur, success depends on control, keeping range, staying composed, and executing a highly disciplined game plan that may not always excite the crowd. Sanchez argues that these contrasting approaches could neutralize one another. Each fighter may shine in bursts, yet neither may gain complete control of the contest. In a bout of this magnitude, a draw would ignite debate across the sport. Still, when the styles are examined closely, Sanchez believes such an outcome is not just possible, but uncomfortably plausible.
It's really that time for him to really take his first loss and, me whoop his ass to the point where either he quits on the stool or I knock him out. How I see this fight being played out is with me pretty much setting that momentum for the people out there as well. Not really trying to force for it. However, I can't be too technical with Shakur. You got to make it a little ugly. You got to make it a little ugly. If you try to be too technical with Shakur, it could be too long of a weighted chess match. Certain people don't want to see that. They don't want to see pop shots. You know what I mean? They want to see good action. I have yet to see, and I think you could attest with me, I don't think we have seen Shakur face anyone higher than who he's going to face next, and that's of me. So, I definitely, commend him at least for stepping up to the plate. But I think it's time. I think it's really that time for him to really take his first loss and, me whoop his ass to the point where either he quits on the stool or I knock him out.
You really believe that, because everyone will say, oh man, Shakur is probably one of the best defensive fighters. And again, you really believe you can stop Shakur Stevenson?
The physical matchup is only part of the story. Many believe the real battle is happening in the mind, and opinions are divided on who holds the edge. Tensions escalated when Teofimo made the fight personal, boldly claiming he would force Shakur to quit on his stool. Stevenson's reply came swiftly and carried a cold intensity. He shared that he had completely shut down his Thanksgiving plans, choosing not to rest or celebrate. No Thanksgiving for me this year. We're working today. That message signaled a fighter fully committed, mentally sealed off from distractions. Still, Lamont Roach offers a harsh assessment of Lopez's mindset. He questions whether Teofimo is psychologically built for a grueling 12-round battle that demands patience and precision. Roach believes that if Lopez fails to land something decisive early, frustration will creep in. From there, mistakes follow. In that scenario, Roach sees Shakur doing what he does best, calmly dissecting his opponent round by round, operating with the calculated precision of a surgeon inside the ring.
He's a little cuckoo too, like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while.
So who do you think wins that fight between him and Teofimo Lopez if they fight?
I think Shakur wins. And I don't think it's going to be like a super tough fight either. His IQ will frustrate him.
Don't you think Teo has also good ring IQ and also is slick, fast?
I think explosive? So, but when you look at Teo's performances against guys that are just pure boxers, it's just like he almost lost to Sandor Martin. Some people thought he lost to Sandor Martin.
He did beat Loma, who's arguably at the time considered one of the best in the world.
He did, and that was a hell of a performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I mean, I think he's hit or miss. You got to think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win. And he won a grueling match against him as well. So I just, I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like, cause it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough he's gonna try to rush Shakur up, and it's probably not good.
Those who have gone rounds with these elite fighters often notice details that casual fans overlook. Dalton Smith, who has sparred with Shakur Stevenson dating back to their amateur years, describes him as exceptional and believes he has what it takes to come out on top. Still, even with that first-hand experience, Smith acknowledges how closely matched this bout really is. On paper, he sees it as a genuine 50-50 fight, with the outcome hanging on the smallest margins.
I think it's a great matchup. I'd probably have to favour Shakur in that on points. But like I said, Teofimo, one hell of a fighter. It really is a 50-50 fight. And of course, I'll be keeping my eye on that. But what a time to be a fighter in the 140-pound division. It's exciting.
Absolutely. I think, have you sparred with Shakur? I think I saw you in the interview talk about what was that sparring like and why is he the favorite over Teo?
I just think how he's progressed over the years. And you can't deny Shakur's one hell of a fighter. He's as a boxer. I don't think he's the biggest puncher, but his boxing and IQ and skills is a great fighter. And obviously, I remember Shakur from back in the junior days. Shakur's a good guy, and he's just one hell of a fighter.
Was it really difficult to hit him? Was his defense really that great?
No, it was many years ago. Obviously, the sparring's are competitive. It was great. Obviously, we used to go over. I went over a couple of times to Colorado for the training camps. I used to go with the Great Britain team, and we learned valuable lessons going over there, mixing it with the USA team, and all that over the years brings us to these moments now.
Keyshawn Davis, a close teammate of Shakur Stevenson, offers a clear picture of how he believes the fight could play out. In his view, Shakur controls the early rounds with sharp movement and speed, building an early lead. As the fight progresses, Davis expects Teofimo to make adjustments, leaning on his physical strength and power to shift momentum in the later stages. Davis also makes an important distinction about the stakes for Lopez. A loss on its own would not define his future, unless it becomes one-sided. If Shakur were to completely outclass him and make the contest look easy, Davis suggests that the hype and momentum behind Teofimo could be permanently damaged.
I see it playing out, let's say, I see it starting off slow.
Okay.
And then I see as Shakur wins the first round, as Shakur wins the second round, slowly, I think Teo is going to eventually start picking it up and start imposing his will.
Right.
And then, it's just going to go from there. That's how I think it's going to go.
That's a fair assessment. That's a fair one. Especially for that to be his brother. I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be closer than people think.
Taylor's very good.
Hey, one thing I can say, though, because, I've been seeing, we've been amateur together and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Teo can fight.
I'm telling you that. Teo can fight.
Winning back
if you said he couldn't, you'd be lying.
Right. That's a real assessment, though. I think Shakur still wins, but it'll be closer than people think.
Teo is nice. A lot, man, no doubt.
Yeah, and Keyshawn, speaking of Teo, you've been vocal about your desire to fight Teofimo Lopez. And of course, I was there in Las Vegas, right, when you FaceTime Teo. Now Teo's fighting Shakur Stevenson. But do we see Keyshawn and Teo at some point?
How was Teo acting when I FaceTimed him? Since you brought it up, how was he acting?
You tell me. You tell the people.
Why do I gotta tell
you? You gotta tell him anyway. Right. How was he acting?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is he was not motivated.
Right. He kept saying he wanted boots.
Look,
he kept saying he wanted boots.
What you asked me again? Because I want to answer that. What'd you say?
Do we see you and Teo fight in the future?
Depending on what Shakur do with him.
Hey, losing to Shakur, though, that can't be a death sentence, right? We can still see Teo back.
It depends how bad he loses.
I was about to say. So you think it's going to be bad?
Let's say he loses a competitive fight. I think that would be the most common answer is Shakur outpoints him in a very competitive fight.
Beats him.
What then? What then for you and Teo?
For the businessman, huh?
All right, cool. Okay, since you worded it like that. I don't, because I won't go say that shit.
Max Kellerman highlighted what may be the most overlooked factor in this entire matchup. Teofimo Lopez is the one who actively pursued this fight. At a time when many fighters go out of their way to avoid facing Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo stepped forward and called for the challenge. That willingness to seek out the toughest test, rather than run from it, speaks volumes. In a sport where confidence and conviction can shape outcomes, that kind of fearlessness cannot be ignored.
Is a real super fight, and I said this on the broadcast for for Crawford and Canelo can't be promoted into existence.
Right.
What a real super fight is, the dust settles in an era, and there are two dudes left standing. There's Ali, there's Frazier, there's Leonard, there's Hagler, there's Mayweather, there's Pacquiao. That's a super fight, right? There's Crawford, there's Canelo. Those are two big fighters of the era. This type of fight, this could easily be at the end of an era, because Teo might be a dude left standing and Shakur could be the dude left standing, right?
I agree.
But it could happen now. It could happen now.
Sean Porter leans slightly towards Shakur Stevenson, giving him a narrow 60-40 advantage, but he is quick to add a serious warning. Teofimo's explosiveness is not something he can switch on or off, it is part of who he is as a fighter. The sport has seen this story play out before. Against Vasyl Lomachenko, Teofimo was widely dismissed, yet he delivered a stunning performance. When he stepped in with Josh Taylor, many believed his best days were behind him, and once again he defied expectations. Time and time again, Lopez has proven himself to be boxing's ultimate spoiler. History suggests that counting him out when the pressure is highest is a mistake few make twice.
Teofimo Lopez. Another easy fight. The problem with him is he's too delusional to go in the gym and fix his mistakes. So I ain't even gonna, I can't say it all. Like I said, I'm gonna make that fight look easy.
We are witnessing the ultimate showdown, the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. On one side stands Shakur Stevenson, a defensive mastermind who gave up holidays and comfort to sharpen his craft to an unprecedented level. On the other, Teofimo Lopez enters the ring with raw, electric talent, what Teddy Atlas calls neon skills, and a track record of toppling champions. The big question looms: can Shakur's meticulous discipline and strategy break Teofimo's fiery mindset, or will Lopez's unpredictable brilliance produce another shocking takeover? Experts remain divided, with trainers forecasting possible draws, while both fighters step into the arena fully prepared for war.
He's just not a talented guy, he's ultra talented. And he's got some great hand speed, and his feet work very well.
Absolutely.
You know? So he's kind of hard, he's an elusive guy to catch up to. And if that's what his game plan is, you know, if he's successful with that, Teo is the guy that may not like the way that Shakur fights when they get in the ring. He may not, you know, he may stop and stump his feet and say, "Come on, man, let's fight."
Yeah, let's fight.
Shakur may say, "Nah, we're not fighting. We're boxing."
Yup, and you know that's what I was gonna finish off with. A lot of people saying this is a 60-40 fight, 70-30, being Shakur the favorite. Do you see it that way, or do you think this is a 50-50 fight?
Nah, you said 60-40?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. No, Teo's definitely in this fight. He's in it to win it. I mean, we talking pure boxing,
yeah,
Shakur, but we talk a dog, Teo.
Yeah.
And Teo's just as fast. I mean, like, there's speed and there's elite speed. Teo's got speed. Shakur's got elite speed. But that's not too far off, especially when you're not a come forward fighter. Shakur's not a come forward, step to you with my speed and hurt you with my speed type fighter.
Yeah.
So, you know, that speed gets neutralized when you're moving in the other direction.
Absolutely.
It gets neutralized when you're moving in the other direction. No, it's not 60-40. It's a 50-50 fight.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it from...
So, who do you think will come out on top in this ultimate clash of styles? Share your predictions in the comments below. We want to hear from you. That's it for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss our future content. And as always, leave your thoughts and reactions in the comments section. We love reading them.